Title: The Day the Internet Vanished. What the world would look like in 24 hours. Imagine waking up to an unsettling silence. No emails pinging in, no notification alerts, no social media updates. You check your phone, assuming it's a glitch. But it's not. The internet is gone. Everywhere, no signal, no access, no connection. Global shutdown. In a world where almost every aspect of life depends on the internet, this sudden disappearance is more than a mere inconvenience. It's a seismic disruption. The ripple effect is instant. It takes less than a day for everything to come to a halt. This video takes you through the chaotic first 24 hours after the internet vanishes. From confusion to crisis, from scrambling for answers to facing a new reality. In the next few minutes, we'll explore how deeply we're connected to the digital world and what happens when that connection suddenly disappears. Let's dive in. The first hour: confusion and denial. At first, the world doesn't collapse. It's the early stages of disbelief. The internet vanishing doesn't immediately trigger chaos. Most people assume it's temporary, a glitch, a network outage, something that will resolve itself. People frantically restart their routers, reboot their devices, and check if it's just their home network. Social media managers begin troubleshooting, wondering why Instagram and Twitter aren't loading. Office workers ping IT departments, blaming some local issue. Parents accuse their children of using all the Wi-Fi bandwidth. News stations try to broadcast live, only to find their own systems have been cut off. Their ability to upload, stream, or even access updates stops cold. People wait for an explanation that never comes, and the world becomes collectively confused. Denial follows as many still cling to the idea that it's only temporary, even though deep down, everyone senses this might be much more than just a glitch. Communication collapse. Within hours, the backbone of modern communication disintegrates. Messaging apps, email systems, video calls, all come to a grinding halt. People try switching to SMS or landlines, but even those begin to falter under the sheer strain of millions trying to reconnect. Emergency services, heavily reliant on digital systems, are the first to feel the strain. Fire departments, paramedics, and law enforcement struggle to coordinate effectively without access to cloud-based dispatch tools. Hospitals lose real-time access to patient records, and medical personnel can't consult online databases. Without online coordination, responding to emergencies becomes slower and riskier. It's a stark reminder of how deeply we rely on digital communication in life and death situations. Meanwhile, governments frantically try to communicate with each other, but most diplomatic lines go silent. There's no way to reach out internationally, and the normal flow of information and decision-making stalls. Everything starts to feel disconnected, not just on a personal level, but on a societal one. Financial systems freeze. The immediate effects of the internet's collapse are felt most profoundly in finance. Digital banking comes to a screeching halt. ATMs across the world stop working, and credit or debit cards no longer function. E-commerce platforms, Amazon, eBay, even small local businesses are paralyzed. PayPal, Stripe, and other online payment systems simply vanish. For the first time in modern history, cash becomes king, but many people have very little of it on hand. Stock markets grind to a halt mid-session. International trade is paused. People rush to local banks, only to find they can't withdraw money or access accounts. Without digital payments, businesses and individuals are left scrambling for solutions. The global economy stumbles, and chaos begins to take shape in sectors that were once heavily reliant on seamless transactions. Transportation gridlocks. Modern transportation systems are built on the internet, and its absence causes immediate chaos. GPS systems, used by everything from personal vehicles to commercial logistics, stop functioning. Rideshare apps like Uber and Lyft go dark, leaving commuters stranded. The collapse of these systems also impacts public transportation. Metro trains, buses, and subways grind to a halt. At airports, check-in counters and flight tracking systems fail. Passengers find themselves stranded with no way to track flights, as air traffic control systems lose their ability to communicate with pilots. Pilots can no longer access real-time weather updates, making it unsafe to fly. Thousands of flights are delayed or canceled. Smart city infrastructure, including traffic lights and public transport, experiences failures. Congested highways are clogged with frustrated drivers, many of whom are unable to make informed decisions because they don't have GPS. Freight shipments are delayed, and supply chains buckle under the weight of this breakdown in connectivity. Media and news blackout with the internet offline. Modern journalism, particularly online news, comes to a sudden stop. News outlets that rely on the internet for research, distribution, and live reporting are left unable to function. Traditional media like television and radio scramble to fill the void, but they are overwhelmed by the lack of real-time updates. People are left searching for any information they can find, turning to social media, but rumors and misinformation spread like wildfire. With no reliable sources, panic begins to set in. Word of mouth becomes the primary mode of information, and people begin to cling to whatever news they can find, no matter how inaccurate. Businesses go dark. As the digital backbone of businesses crumbles, companies that rely on the internet are suddenly paralyzed. Remote work, which has become the norm for many, is impossible. Employees can't access the systems, tools, or data they need to do their jobs. Digital communication and file sharing cease to exist. Retail stores with point-of-sale POS systems that require internet connectivity can't process any transactions. Inventory tracking systems crash. E-commerce and online retail, the backbone of modern commerce, are frozen in time. Manufacturing systems that rely on automation are halted. Supply chains are disrupted, causing massive bottlenecks. Small businesses are hit especially hard. Many are entirely dependent on online platforms to operate, and their operations grind to a halt. The impact on the global economy is immediate, as we begin to realize how much business has been digitized and how fragile that digital infrastructure really is. Schools and education disappear. The sudden disappearance of the internet is particularly devastating for education. Online classrooms, e-learning platforms, and digital assignments cease to exist. Teachers can't reach students, and students can't access learning materials. Digital textbooks, instructional videos, and collaborative tools vanish from existence. For physical schools, confusion reigns. Administrators can't communicate with school boards, districts, or parents. Many schools rely on digital systems for everything, from attendance to grading to communications. As remote education halts, parents scramble to find alternatives, leaving a generation of students in educational limbo. Cloud dependency exposed. The internet's collapse exposes the true extent of our reliance on cloud services. Smart homes, reliant on cloud connections for automation, stop working. Smart assistants like Alexa and Google Home become dumb. Security cameras, thermostats, and other smart devices are rendered useless. For businesses, cloud outages become critical. Companies that depend on services like Amazon Web Services, AWS, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure find themselves without any access to their data or tools. AI systems stop functioning. Data backups, which many companies trust to cloud services, become inaccessible. The digital world begins to feel alarmingly fragile as we realize how much we depend on systems we don't control. Social behavior shifts. As the hours pass and the internet remains gone, people begin to change. Without the constant distractions of screens, there's a subtle shift in behavior. People start interacting with each other face-to-face. Awkwardly at first, conversations replace scrolling, and quiet parks become filled with people actually looking around. For some, this sudden disconnection feels liberating. The world slows down. People are no longer slaves to the constant buzz of their devices. Families spend more time together. Neighbors begin to talk. But for many, anxiety builds. The silence becomes uncomfortable. The world feels strange, disconnected. The digital void leaves a hole that can't easily be filled. Governments declare emergencies. Within 24 hours, governments around the world are declaring emergencies. Leaders meet with cybersecurity experts, military personnel, and intelligence agencies trying to figure out the cause of the global blackout. Was it a massive cyber attack, a satellite failure, a coordinated sabotage? Cybersecurity experts work frantically to trace the cause, but no answers come quickly. Martial law becomes a topic of conversation in some regions as governments prepare for civil unrest. Financial regulators begin drafting emergency response plans, knowing that the economic collapse is already underway. Conclusion: the day the internet vanishes isn't just a tech failure, it's a societal stress test. We've built our civilization on a foundation we barely understand and rarely question. Within 24 hours, everything from communication and finance to transport and education begins to unravel. The convenience of connection hides the dependence we've developed. The world keeps turning, but it feels eerily unfamiliar. So what does this teach us? That resilience requires more than speed and convenience. It demands awareness, alternatives, and preparation. If this video made you think differently about the internet and how deeply it shapes your world, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts below. What part of this digital collapse shocked you the most? Thanks for watching, and stay connected while you still can.